anything wrong.
Yeah, but why'd you run? A little over the top, don't you think, Hulda?
Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing Loki Season 2, Episode 2, called Breaking Brad. Really funny name. I thought that was hilarious when I saw it. But we're just going to dive right into what I thought about the episode and what the episode was really about. So there will be spoilers ahead if you have not seen the episode already.
Real cute. Real cute. You quit with the magic and fight fair! Oh, shit.
It's not a fair fight.
So when this episode first started off, it was a little bit confusing because at the end of the last episode, Loki was cured of his time slipping, and we saw that Sylvie had entered a McDonald's and ordered pretty much everything. When you start off this episode, Loki and Mobius are chasing after a rogue agent known as Hunter XO5. So Hunter XO5 was tasked by General Dox to go find Sylvie. General Dox sent out a bunch of TV agents across the sacred timeline to try to find Sylvie. But Hunter XO5, he abandoned his post. So Mobius and Loki were going to try to find him and figure out why, because they suspect that he ran into Sylvie but didn't report her because he likes his new life as a movie star down on the sacred timeline because he fits right in. So Loki and Mobius apprehend him and bring him back to the TVA for some questioning. Of course, Hunter XO5 doesn't want to say anything. He's really quiet, so he tries to really get under Mobius and Loki's skin by using different personal attacks at them, and neither of them really handle it well. Loki kind of goes all villainous for a moment, and I thought that was really great. It felt like Avengers 2012 vibes, so it was great to be able to have that. And then Mobius just absolutely loses it. And that's one of the first times that we see Mobius lose it, because he's usually just a calm guy. But after being questioned about his previous life before the TVA, he's very sensitive about that topic. He doesn't want to know what his life was like because he wants to keep his mind focused on the task at hand. There are bigger things than him going on in the universe, so it shouldn't be important to him to figure out if he had a good life or a bad life. And Loki and him kind of talk about that. And I do believe that Mobius is making the right call here, because it's not important to worry about what your personal life was. And the big problem is figuring out how you're going to solve this multiversal crisis and prevent He Who Remains or Kang from returning. So that's just really was an interesting part of this episode. Very touching. You see the character dynamic between Mobius and Loki continue to grow. So eventually they finally hatch a plan to torture Hunter XO5 to finally reveal Sylvie's location, and it works, and the Hunter reveals that Sylvie is at the McDonald's. So Loki and Mobius quickly take him, and they go to the McDonald's to find Sylvie. Of course, Sylvie doesn't want to have anything to do with the TVA anymore. She wants to move on. She wants to have her own life. She's working at McDonald's. She's having her own little life, but she doesn't like to see Loki show up. Loki talks to her for a few minutes, tries to explain that they need her help, and she refuses at first until Hunter XO5 reveals one other secret that he was keeping, that General Dox wasn't trying to help just find Sylvie. She wanted to prune all of the timelines to try to make the sacred timeline again. So she all of a sudden used a bunch of reset charges and time doors to blow up, basically, the timeline, all except for the sacred timeline. So Loki and Sylvie and Mobius all quickly rush to stop her because she's killing billions by doing this. So they rush to try to stop her after the Hunter reveals that information. Of course, they're unsuccessful. They do stop a few, but at the end of the episode, you're seeing the sacred timeline form into one singular line again, and all those other lives are going, and billions of lives are being lost, and everyone is like just depressed. They're like heartbroken because all those lives are being slaughtered in a matter of seconds, and all you're seeing is a squiggly line on the screen. Sylvie does return to the TVA for a moment, but then she leaves, so it'll be interesting to see what she's going to do next. I thought overall it was a little bit of a confusing episode at the beginning until we figured out what Mobius and Loki were doing, chasing Hunter XO5. Once we figured that out, it was pretty interesting. I mean, of course, you're going to have some rebel TVA agents that are going to still try to fulfill their jobs because they don't believe that everything's gone. They believe that it's still important for them to continue their job. You're always going to have to deal with rebellions. At the very end of the episode, we hear that we got a hit on Renslayer's tempad, so they can find Renslayer. So I'm assuming in episode 3, we're going to find Renslayer again and see what she's been up to since she left at the end of the first season 1. So overall, very interesting episode. Really excited for the next one. I think it's been an exceptional series so far. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Breaking Bad, and let me know what your expectations are for episode 3. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.